cool tool to make them feel that way. I love what April pointed out. People want to be missed, right? How can you make people feel missed? Vlada and Zinni says, everyone wants a hug. Everyone. Well, not hugs, because I think we are not allowed to touch each other. No, I understand that sentiment. People want to feel needed. People want to feel missed. I absolutely love that. So hopefully this helps in terms of thinking about your people and your customers. Remember, we often spend too much time on the before customer experience, but what about the after customer experience? If you need and want more help on this, I recommend you check out having the ability to make people feel more special. And an analogy I like to use that I shared in that book that I'll finish off here with before I get into some questions. If you happen to have a question, type in the word question in all caps followed by a question so I can skim through and find it. I probably won't be able to answer everybody's question, or in fact, I think there is a question button, which is pretty cool, which I do see those questions, and there's a couple of them. So if you have a question, you can pop it up there. That way I can pin the question in just a minute. But the analogy I like to use is if you go into a restaurant, right? A very terrible customer service experience is if you go into a restaurant and you're just literally waiting around in the foyer, nobody's come by, you've actually seen people walk by, waiters, busboys, and the manager walk by and they don't address you, right? That is actually the most common experience that people are having online, where you walk into that restaurant and you're just not even being paid attention to. How can you pay money to somebody if you aren't even being served, right? So serve your audience first. So if you are the owner of your restaurant, go in there, and when people come in, make them feel welcome, make them feel special, and ask them what they need, right? So number two, the sort of, that's like a grade F experience. A grade C experience would be like, hey, welcome to the restaurant. Let me seat you down. And they're there, they're waiting, but you give them a menu. 10 minutes go by, you finally take their order. When they get their food, it's kind of okay. But even beyond that, the water that they've been drinking is empty. And you've seen people come around with pitchers, and they haven't asked you if you needed a refill, but it's so obvious that that's there, right? And then you finally go and ask, hey, can I get some more water? Okay, sure, right? And that's C level. Just when a person asks for something, giving it to them. When a person asks because their water is empty, you give them more water. That's a C level experience. That's a grade C experience. Although that's what we think is a grade A. It's like, oh, well, yeah, I'll step forward and offer help only when I'm asked for something. I think a grade B experience would be something where you actually see that glass. It's sort of half full. And without a person asking, you go and you actually fill that cup for them, right? And beyond that, you make sure that the food comes out earlier. You might even remember that person's name because they came in before, right? So that's the B level customer service experience, right? The A level customer experience would be offering some nice surprises, some things like this Bonjoro video strategy that we talked about to make people feel more welcome, right? So when I walk in the restaurant, I sit down and the manager comes out of the back. Or in fact, the chef comes out and goes, hey, Pat, thank you so much for being here. I just wanted to come in. I saw you walk in and I know your favorite dish is this. Is that something you'd like again? Or I have another special that might be fitting for you based on what I've learned about your palate. And I'm just like, whoa, that's amazing. And I got to meet the chef. I got to interact with somebody there. That's pretty cool. And then when I leave the restaurant, I get a text message that says like, hey, Pat, just thank you so much for your patronage. I look forward to seeing you in again. Here's a coupon the next time you come in to make sure you get an appetizer for free, right? And that's pretty cool too, right? And I love what Ms. Mean says. People love when you anticipate their needs and you get it right. Indeed. And you know what else is also a grade A experience? Is if something goes wrong and you go above and beyond to make sure that that person understands that you understand what they're going through. Empathy, yo. Empathy is the key to grade A customer service experience. And that's the last lesson I'm going to offer for you here. Empathy. What's it like for that person to go through what they're going through? And how can you offer them help and be there for them and ask them what they might need, right? So hopefully this helps. Okay, so question from Karma says, when onboarding, do you recommend doing a short private call with a new customer, or do you think that's a bit much? I think it depends, Karma, on what it is that you're selling. I think for a higher end product, especially if it's something that requires some customization or some custom tailoring, right? And is likely several hundred, if not thousands of dollars, like a consultation of some kind, or people are hiring you as a coach or something. an onboarding call can go a very long way. In fact, I do an onboarding call for my accelerator students for my higher end programs because I want them to feel like that that they know that I'm there for them. I want them to know that I am listening and that I'm going to help them in the best way possible, right? And if it's sort of a customized experience, you can help set that expectation for what that experience is going to be like, right? So, hey, for you in particular, we're going to use this onboarding experience for me to understand more about your needs so that when I come to you with our first real call, I can... Coach says new inceptions, totally, yes. I like getting that phone call, right? Phone call or Zoom call, and having that expectation of why that's important, and having a person on the other end who just purchased know what's going to happen on that call is really key, right? I've had purchase experiences where a person goes, okay, great, let's get on a call for 30 minutes and we can get started. And I'm like, what does that even mean? What do I need to have ready by then, right? So if you are going to do an onboarding call, for example, absolutely make sure that there is some expectation on the other end of what's going to happen in that call and why that call exists and what's not going to happen, right? So that you can get started from there. Vlada and Xenia says, how do you show people that you really mean it so that they don't think that you just do it for the money or sales? You do it, right? I think you just demonstration through action, right? Demonstration through action. And that's what we need to do. You got to back up the words that you say, right? The other way to show proof is by showing how you've helped others. And this is why testimonials, this is why pulling in these other stories that sort of have this underlying tone that, yeah, you actually did help other people and you're going to help me too, is really key. I think Kathy here is saying, very importantly, Karma, as long as you have the capacity, the practice would definitely build superfans. So the idea of having these onboarding calls with new customers, really key. They definitely help. But if you don't have the capacity to do it and you have to keep rescheduling or whatnot, that can actually lead to a very terrible experience, right? So we got a question, a few questions in here. How do you create a membership in Teachable? Well, you can create a recurring membership payment in Teachable, and you can use Teachable as the content basis for where to actually include information, but the community or forum element is not included in Teachable. Teachable actually, in fact, integrates really well with Circle. Circle.so is a platform, or you can have a community on Facebook groups. You know, I've had communities on Facebook groups that sort of sit on top of my courses, and that's where people interact and get help and questions and whatnot. But I think that you can do it that way. But if you're looking for an all-in-one platform that has like a forum and the online course stuff, you might look at something like Mighty Networks because it allows you to do all those things. I think Kajabi also is one that could potentially help you. But anyway, I like using Teachable for the online courses, and then for, as you know, SPI Pro, which just recently came out or is accepting applications, smartpassiveincome.com/pro. You can check those out right now if you want to check out the application process. But we're hosting that in circle.so for our forum and to have really neatly laid out channels for discussions and interactions and monthly challenges and book club participations and those kinds of things. So thank you so much for that question. What's up, Mom? All right. Media says, how do you get that interaction when there is little two-way communication? I think interaction if it is a two-way conversation, but you just got to try. You got to open up those communication fields, and I think that expectation and having people see what happens when there is communication is really key, because people can begin to think that, oh, this is different than other places, so I'm more comfortable. And also, if you give a person a reason how it's going to help them to communicate, therein lies the sort of benefit to them. Hey, it's really important that you interact or you reciprocate, because then I can better help you, right? Sasha says, question, what made you go with Circle over Mighty Networks? Hearing a lot of buzz about both. Thanks. Circle was just a much cleaner experience, and it also integrated really well with the kind of forum that we wanted to offer, the kind of experience for a membership platform. Mighty Networks is great too. They're absolutely fantastic, and I would definitely weigh pros and cons of both for your particular situation. But I've fallen in love with Circle so much, and in fact, their previous employees at Teachable who branched out and just went all in on this, the way that they've progressed, the way that they've rolled out their platform, I'm really excited about, and the way that they listen to us. In fact, myself and my CFO and COO, Matt Gartland, we are both now advisors for the company, which is pretty cool. And last question here from Eduin, Edudeman, is asking, what do you do if you don't have the capacity to provide a personalized service? This is great question, because we want to try to scale things, right? And we might not have the time, especially if we're building for passive income. Well, we can't put in these super personalized experiences. I would still put in an opportunity for maybe even just an hour every Friday to interact with people in a more personalized space, just so you have some capacity and container and space to do that. However, if you don't have that capability, you better make sure that you understand who your target audience is and what they need help with, because that feels personalized. When you understand the language that they use and what they might need help with, and you have this empathy, that feels personalized, right? That feels personalized. So, hey chat, we're here at the top of the hour. Thank you so much. I apologize for the issues on YouTube and the internet that's been cutting out. Hopefully it will be better in 20 minutes when I'm going to be live on television in Texas. But anyway, thank you so much, Team Flynn. I appreciate you. I'm still going to count this as day 103 of the income stream, although it's not going to be live on YouTube later. But anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And how did I get the question? How did I get the idea for Smart Passive Income? It was a combination of me starting my business in the architecture space, having been influenced by Tim Ferriss in the 4-Hour Workweek, and building those experiences of having the ability for me to serve people and build products and services that help people even without me having to exchange real time for that, so that I can help people understand that there's work required here. It's not an overnight thing. It's not starting your business on the beach. That's your end goal. That's where you end up after a lot of hard work and active situations first. So I think it's Good Morning Texas, whatever channel that is, Margarita, Texas. But anyway, that's where the smart and the passive income came in. So anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Team Flynn. Thank you for being here. Hundreds of people watching on Instagram, which is super fun. This will be a nice backup for us just in case the internet dies out, but I'm going to see if I can fix that later. And again, I appreciate you so much. Team Flynn for the win. Take care. Make sure to come in tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm starting a little early on YouTube, hopefully.